Coach, what did you say to the team after that first quarter where you all found yourselves down 27-10?
You know, it was just one of those things where you wanted to try to get their focus back again. I mean, obviously Iowa State came out really, really hot. I really expected that after the way they played in Lubbock in their last game. I figured that they would have a different intention coming out tonight. And, you know, maybe we were a little distracted by senior night. I don't really know. We looked very, for lack of better words, a little lethargic in the first quarter in particular. And we tried to battle back. I got their juices flowing a little bit with the traps. But again, they're too good of a team to trap the whole game. Yeah. I mean, they're going to make decisions, especially when they get it to Bridget in the center of the floor. They're going to make good decisions for the most part. And, you know, we found ourselves in a position where we really had to scramble tonight, and that wasn't a good place to be in.
Karen, how hard is it as a coach to have to adjust in the first quarter, losing Holmes and White to foul trouble? What does that do to you as a coach, and how you have to now coach your team and play? Yeah,
I mean, that's happened in our last two games, and it's happened, you know, in some other ones. But, you know, we've gotten into a pretty comfortable rotation, and, you know, when you have those two go out so early in a game, you know, I mean, Joyner wasn't even in one play.
Right.
And, you know, that's pretty frustrating for us. And I thought we missed a lot of chippies tonight. I mean, just so many possessions that, you know, I know that sometimes we look like we're struggling offensively, but I thought tonight we actually got good shots. I thought we put ourselves in position to make shots, and we just couldn't get the bunnies to go in tonight at all. It would have helped us a lot.
What do you attribute that to? Is it, I mean, I hate to say, is some of it just bad luck? Was it their defense?
You know, I mean, I think that they walled up. You know, I think they had an intention of making sure that they didn't foul us and making us kind of score over the top of them. But again, there were some that, I mean, they just didn't go in. I don't know what else to say. I mean, we had them right there point blank, and had some big misses that would have been some momentum changers. But again, we just have to look at the first quarter and say it was too big of a hole.
Yeah, it was one thing that we talked about a lot, because you were getting to the basket, and the ball was in, out, around the rim, and I haven't seen that many misses from y'all really in any time I've seen y'all play this year. But I thought that the board play by Iowa State also in the first half was really important. They had to have that happen.
We talked about that. We talked about the fact that we didn't have, but I think we had 4 offensive rebounds. 1 was a dead ball, you know, rebound. So there was 5. Just not when you're shooting, I think, 28%, which is what we shot in the first half. You've got to have more offensive rebounds. I mean, we talked about it in several timeouts that we just needed to sell out a little bit more.
Yeah.
How much of that was because 2 of your bigs, White and Holmes, were in foul trouble?
Probably a little bit of it. Some of it was, I called it sort of living in no man's land, because we weren't getting back in transition either. So it's one of those things where, you know, what are you doing if you're not offensive rebounding yet you're not getting back also? You're in limbo.
Yeah.
I thought we got caught in that a lot. You know, I want to say it's an effort thing. Maybe it's young kids thinking, you know, thinking too much about what their assignment is. But again, you've got to play 94 feet.
Yeah.
And I thought that we shortcutted that a little bit in the first half, in a sense of, well, I don't want to go rebound, but, you know, I'm also getting too deep in transition and not matching up, and just a lot wrong with the first half, clearly.
What do you take away from this game? Your defensive effort when y'all were fighting hard to get back in the game, and you cut into the lead. What do you take away from with the pressure that you were able to put on, with the traps, with the turnovers you created? Do you use that anymore? Do you try to build on that at some point earlier in a ball game as you move forward?
Well, I think it's tough when, you know, your guards that are scoring the ball probably can't play 40 minutes of that. So I think we're in a little bit of a dilemma right now where we can substitute the way I did a little bit in the second half. But I don't know that you know, every team in our league, you can't play like that.
Yeah.
But I thought that getting them out of their rhythm was the best thing we could do. And again, it doesn't last forever, because they're going to get the ball in the best player's hands in the center of the floor at some point, and she's going to make the right decision, which she did, especially in the traps in the first half.
Yep.
I thought that they quickly adjusted, which, I mean, we knew they would do, but we thought we could, and we stole a couple of buckets out of that. But, you know, at this level, it's hard to press the whole game.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's too good of basketball teams to be able to do that. If you're doing that, then they're probably not very good. But I think that we may have to find a way to mix that in, just to change the tempo and maybe get our young kids in, let them fly around a little bit and sort of sub according to what's going on.
With it being senior night, I will say that Danny Williams came out with a sense of urgency and played like this was her last game at the Irwin Center.
She did. I mean, I thought that was as vocal as I've seen Danny. You know, I mean, all year long I've wanted her to say more and be a little more emotional.
Yeah.
And you know, you always want them that light to come on a little bit quicker than sometimes what it does. But I thought that, you know, they played hard. I mean, you know, again, the first quarter was, I'm not sure what we can attest that to, but you know, I thought Jatari played hard, just couldn't get a bucket to fall. You know, she had a hard time getting things to fall, and you know, Shug's playing hard right now, but I still, you know, I think there's times when maybe I need to just let her rest for a minute. You know, I think that helped her to take her out and get her back in a little bit, and we've talked about doing that a little bit more, and I thought Joe gave us some good minutes, and you know, we played her in the last game also, and so I think she's starting to move along. Maybe she can help us in tournament play.
Yeah,
for sure.
she can pressure the ball. She's
a
really nice defender, on-ball
defender. She definitely
defender.
can. Yeah.
Where do you go from here? Now, one game left in the regular season on the road, TCU, and then the postseason, the real season begins.
Yeah, I mean, we're obviously in a situation now where, you know, we could get. I mean, it's all about seeding in the tournament. You know, there's a lot left, even with just one game left.
Yeah.
I think you can go anywhere from 3rd seed to 6th seed, you know, in the tournament. And then, you know, I think once we get through with the Big 12 tournament and obviously get through TCU, we need to regroup a little bit and see if we can make a push in the NCAA tournament. But maybe that type of rest will help after the Big 12 tournament. There may be some of these guys that are just mentally and physically fatigued.
Yeah.
But we're at this point now where, you know, it's almost I mean, really, I thought we needed to treat today like a one-and-done game because it was for 2nd place.
Yeah.
And, you know, we didn't exactly come out like that, but we'll learn from it. And, no, it kind of is that we are in that boat now.
Yeah.
You
Still
know.
a lot of basketball to play.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just 2 games in a row now where we've had Jatari and Joyner sit pretty quick, and we just can't have that.
Well, Coach, we do appreciate you joining us
Thank
after this
very
one,
much.
and
it's
best of luck.
It's been a great year with you
we
guys.
appreciate it, Coach.
fun.
Best of luck on the
Love
road
the
in Fort
network.
Worth.
Thank
And we
y'all.
got one more, by the way, one more game plan coming up with you and myself next week after the regular season finale. Game plan with the coach Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central.